In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to know if you have social anxiety and 5 key hallmarks so you can understand if you suffer from these symptoms and it's social anxiety. All that's coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to the AspieWorld. My name is Dan. I have autism, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on this type of content to do with mental health and autism. So if you're new around here and you'd like to learn more about those subjects, remember to hit the subscribe button by clicking the notification bell down below. And if you're watching over on Facebook, be sure to give this page a like and a follow to see more videos just like this one and more. Okay guys, so before we get started, I just want to say that I do have other social media platforms which I do put content on, like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok and Facebook, and I'd love for you to go check me out and give me a follow on that platform because I actually interact most with my fans over there, my followers. So if you want to send me a DM or comment or have a conversation with me, I'm always open for it. So go and do that now. It'd be super awesome. I love making new friends. Okay, so like I said in the start, I have autism, and autism comes with a bunch of different things. And one of the main things is social anxiety. Now, social anxiety is something that can impact someone's life a lot, and it seems to be on the rise. Now, a lot of people in the developing world are suffering more and more with mental health conditions. Now, mental health conditions, they can really impact your life in very serious ways, and that impact can have a huge devastating effect on your day-to-day life, your relationships, your love life, your family life, everything. So one of the things is to know what something is, identify it, and then look for the help and the right assessment, the right treatment, or the right therapy for that thing. So some people may think like, oh, hey, you know, I'm having these issues. What is it? Is it anxiety? Is it social anxiety? I don't know. So I'm here to help you, and I've mapped out 5 of the most common symptoms that you can really think about that relate to social anxiety to know that you have social anxiety. So we're going to go through those right now. Before we do, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know what part of the world you're watching from. I just find that interesting, so pop it in a comment down below. I read and respond to every single comment, and it's never wasted. That'd be super awesome. Okay guys, so let's go through it. So number 1 is feeling overwhelmingly worried when out in public / in busy places. Now what I mean by this is if you're in a shopping center or a mall or in a city. Now a lot of people think that this would be agoraphobia, right? But this is actually one of the main common characteristics of social anxiety, because there's a lot of social interaction going on. There's people walking past you, there's people trying to sell you stuff, there's people trying to sell you stuff on the street. You have to interact with shopkeepers and people at tills, and then you have to interact with security guards, and especially now with the whole COVID-19 thing, you have to sometimes have your temperature checked, you have to wear a mask. The whole shebang is this busyness of noise. It's a noise that's going on around you, and it can feel overwhelming, and that overwhelming feeling, that urge to feel safe and relaxed gets overshadowed by this overwhelming worry, and that worry is something that eats away at you, and it causes a lot of issues. Now this feeling is kind of like, if someone was to describe it, it would be like throwing a bucket of cold water over you and you're out in public. You're like, I'm freezing and I'm so uncomfortable and I feel really awkward. But it's overwhelming. It makes you worry because you know that going to that situation is going to make you overwhelmed. So you worry about even going to the situation, let alone being in that situation and feeling overwhelmed and worried. So this is very, very common. Now, if you know somebody who's like this, and this is typically probably a hallmark of social anxiety. And you know what's funny? A lot of people feel like this when they go to shopping centers or public things like parties or pubs or clubs or whatever, and they don't know that it's actually social anxiety, and they just go with it and they deal with it and they feel like crap because they're trying to just overcome this to be normal. You know, what is normal? But I just wanted to say that, it's not a bad thing. A lot of people do this, and there are therapies for it, and there are ways to help it. And I'm going to do a video all about therapies for social anxiety and ways to treat it. So if you want to see that video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on so you get notified when I upload that video. It's paramount that you do that. Okay, so number 2 is panic attacks in large public gatherings. Now, panic attacks can happen in you can have all the family over for Christmas and you have an overwhelming kind of oh my God, there's so much going on. You have a panic attack and it's like this pressure on your chest and you lack of breathing and you start kind of crying, you get all emotional and you have this huge panic attack. Panic attacks happen because of anxiety. And if you're in a public gathering, a public space, if you're in a mall or a parent's house or a restaurant or a club or a party, that is a public gathering of large people, and if you're having a panic attack when you're in those situations, this is probably down to social anxiety. I mean, if you combine that with the overwhelming worry about going to a public place, then getting there and having a panic attack, I mean, there you go. That's your issue there. Okay guys, so number 3 is avoidance of seeing friends due to anxiety. Now this is a common something that is missed, because people like say, hey, you know, like, your friends will call you up and be like, hey, do you want to come out? We're gonna go to this pizza place, and then we're gonna go probably hit up like I don't know, a club or something, or a games kind of club or whatever, right? And then you're like, oh, you want to see your friends, you want to eat pizza and play games, but then you're also like, I don't want to be around loads of people, and I just want to chill, and I feel safe in my home. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You should allow yourself time to feel like that, and that's absolutely fine. But the overwhelming avoidance of wanting to see friends because you go, no, it literally is just too upsetting for me, and it's too kind of overwhelming for me, because you know you're going to get anxious about it. You know it's causing you anxiety, and you know that it's going to cause an overload or a meltdown or a panic attack. This is caused by social anxiety. That kind of fear of wanting to go out, that avoidance is again a hallmark of you not going out. And friends will be like, oh, you know, you never come out, you gotta come out this once, and you might be pressured into going out, and it causes a whole kind of thing, and you don't feel great about it. And I mean, I've been there, I did all the time. I've been there, and I don't do it anymore, because I go, it's my life, I need to take charge of it, I need to take care of my health and everything. So yeah, just remember that, you know, you are your own person as well, so you're allowed to do those things, but it's a very common thing in social anxiety. Number 4 is chest pain and neck pain when you're in social settings or in social environments. So if you're in a club, or if you're in a party, or a gathering or something like, or on a dinner, or there's loads of family around and stuff, what happens is the anxiety causes a stress in you, and that stress impulse starts to tighten up things like shortness of breath, which then could cause, you know, a panic attack. But the pressure is on the back of your neck, and you're like, oh, you know, I just need that tension going. If you get this in social situations, I'm telling you guys, it's because you have social anxiety, and it's kicking your butt and you don't even know it. Social anxiety is probably the most annoying part of being on the spectrum, but it's something that, like I said, it impacts your life. I mean, when are you not in a social situation? Unless you're laying in bed or in your house all alone, right? Or in the shower, you're never out of a social situation. So these are all very interesting. I mean, if you're taking these off, give this video a thumbs up. I want to know if I'm relating to you guys, because I love to hear from you, and it'd be super awesome to know that I'm reaching you and you understand. And so we're going to go through the last one now, and that number 5 is post-social interaction crash. Now, what I was saying before about friends kind of pressuring you to go out or do something, if you get pressured into doing those things and you go out and do those things, and you get this overwhelming pressure to do so, and you go out and you kind of like, you feel anxious and overwhelmed, and you're sweating a bit, but you're going through it, and you have your pizza, and you go to the game club, and then you come home and you just crash. You're like, you know, you just hit the deck, and you feel like you've drunk, you know, all night, but you haven't drunk a sip of alcohol. You feel hungover, your head hurts, you need to go sleep, you don't know what to do, you're irritated, but you feel sick, but there's nothing happened other than the fact that you went out to see your friends, and you went to like maybe a club or somewhere. That is social anxiety giving its full effect, and that is the outcome from it, okay? But that's something that you need to avoid. That outcome has no place in your life, because that's not going to be any good for you. Now, if you resonate with all of these things, you have to let me know in a comment down below that, yes, Dan, I totally agree, I do all these things, I'd love to know, and it would be super awesome to hear from you. If you are thinking this could help somebody, like one of your friends, please share this video on Facebook and Twitter. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button to see more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, guys, peace.